Welcome to Truman State University's Competency-Based Mathematics program. It's a pleasure to include your school in this program, and we hope you find the methodology beneficial. My name is Kevin Minch, and I am the Associate Provost for Undergraduate Curricula and Outreach, and I oversee the Institute for Academic Outreach, the office that manages the Competency-Based Mathematics program, among other concurrent enrollment programs. I want to take a couple of minutes to introduce our program to you, as well as explain the requirements associated with this new orientation program. Several years ago, we created the Competency-Based Mathematics program to address several problems schools were experiencing with existing dual credit offerings in college algebra, plane trigonometry, and pre-calculus. Many schools were frustrated because of restrictions existing state and national policies were having on their ability to offer courses in these subjects. Some schools found that students with excellent qualifications in mathematics didn't meet the uniform GPA requirements imposed by the state to take dual credit courses, losing those students the opportunity to excel in what they were truly interested in. Others, based on their location in rural communities, did not have enough students needing a particular subject to warrant offering a full-fledged course in one of those topics, but found a self-paced alternative served their needs. Still other schools were challenged by the retirement of faculty who had been qualified to teach dual credit and now found themselves lacking a qualified teacher. With math, we were hearing that a one-size-fit-all approach wasn't cutting it for many schools. Competency-based mathematics is not a dual credit program as defined by the Missouri Department of Higher Education, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, or the National Alliance of Concurrent Enrollment Partnerships. A dual credit course is a course in which faculty in the classroom are teaching the university's curriculum as an adjunct faculty member of the university for the purpose of earning students both high school and college credit. In dual credit environments, the class is taking place physically at the high school, is taught by a faculty member that is both a high school teacher and meets minimum qualifications for college faculty as mandated by the Higher Learning Commission, and employs exactly the same syllabus, textbook, assessments, and objectives of the equivalent college course. An easy way to think of this is to think of a dual credit course as a college course transplanted from its college environment onto the high school campus, with instruction being provided by a high school teacher who possesses the qualifications to be a college faculty member. In contrast, the Competency-Based Mathematics program at Truman is what MDHE and DESE call a dual enrollment program. Dual enrollment programs are programs that are offered on the college campus or online, where the primary instruction is being performed by a university faculty member, not a high school teacher. At present, dual enrollment courses are not regulated in the same manner as dual credit courses, but they do count for the Missouri School Improvement Program's point system. Now, you may be scratching your head right now and saying, wait a minute, this is happening at my school, in my classroom, and I'm certainly helping the students learn. I'm certainly a qualified teacher. How does this make sense? The answer can be found in the program's innovative competency-based design, which takes advantage of the best features of both dual credit and dual enrollment programs. Think of two courses running side by side at the same time, one for a college grade and one for a high school grade. For the purpose of Truman State University's grade in this course, students are receiving their primary instruction from the software furnished by Hawkes Learning Systems, our computer-assisted instructional system. Students' progress in the course is measured by satisfying certain competencies, called certifications, that qualify students to take exams. Successful performance on the exams, 3 for college algebra and 2 for plane trigonometry, determine whether the student has achieved the necessary mastery of the material to pass the course. This is exactly the same method that is used to deliver the course on Truman's campus. With respect to the Truman grade, your responsibility as a teacher is to be available to proctor the tests and answer questions students might have about the problems they encounter in the software. For the purposes of the grade you are giving in your high school class, you may base the grade entirely on the grade we assign at Truman via the software, which many teachers do, or you may supplement those examinations with your own homework, participation grades, additional tests, or quizzes. You can lecture as little or as much as you want. Your class is still your high school class, and it's up to you to decide how much of the university's content is incorporated into it, so long as you make enough time for students to complete the certifications and examinations required for their university grade. Both the grades and the classes are functionally separate. Historically, this methodology has been hugely successful. The overwhelming majority of students earn A's and B's by the end of their term, and the withdrawal and failure rate is historically under 2%. Why so good, you might ask? First, the competency-based methodology helps ensure that students don't sit for a test until they've mastered the material. And if for some reason they perform poorly on the test or simply want to raise their grade, they can retest until they are satisfied with the outcome and then move on to the material for the next exam. While they cannot go back to prior tests after they've moved on, they can continue to test up through the end of the school's academic year. If they don't meet competency, they can drop the course without any punitive mark on their transcript. They simply didn't achieve the competency. Second, and probably most importantly, you are there. Most dual credit classes represent a single course with a single instructor. But with competency-based mathematics, the software brings the full force of mathematics experts who have developed an adaptive learning approach which students can navigate mostly on their own. If you were a Truman student, you'd be navigating this course largely on your own, attending supplemental lectures and reporting to a testing center when you are ready to complete an exam. But in your classroom, students are getting all of the benefits of the engineered software, and they have a full-time teacher, you, at their disposal. This creates a dynamic, value-added learning environment where students can guide themselves and benefit from your wisdom as well. So what does this mean in terms of your role in the program? Well, with respect to the grades students will earn for their college transcript, you are responsible for organizing the enrollment process, answering questions students have about problems they encounter in the Hawks software, providing students ample time to complete certifications, take examinations, and retest with the frequency necessary to achieve their goals, proctoring students' exams, working with Truman's Mathematics Department liaison to identify students who have completed the competencies and to troubleshoot problems as they occur, and working with the Institute for Academic Outreach to communicate important messages about policies and procedures to students. And that's it. For Truman's purposes, you aren't grading tests or homework. You're not focusing on troubleshooting IT problems. You are there to support the student as a guide and a proctor. Now, for purposes of your own class grade, we know you may be doing much more. Any special arrangement, policies, or procedures that pertain to the high school grade are a matter between you and your students and your administration. But we recommend you make it clear to students whenever there's a possibility that high school requirements and college requirements may differ. And you are obligated by the terms of your partnership agreement with Truman to make retesting opportunities available to your students throughout the school year. Two of my colleagues, Allison Owen and Vanessa Williams, will guide you through the rest of the modules in this orientation. In order to ensure that all teachers and schools are on the same page, this orientation program is mandatory. We will be monitoring whether modules have been completed, as well as looking to determine whether or not you successfully complete the short quiz at the end of the orientation. We also recommend that you thoroughly read all written materials provided to you as part of the program before you begin the term. Deadlines for completion of these modules are articulated in the contract with your school. Your school will not be able to participate in the program until you have successfully completed this orientation, even if you have taught for the program before. A number of policies and even the software have changed in the past year. We appreciate your taking the time to participate in this orientation. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact the Institute for Academic Outreach at 660-785-5384 or by email at institute@truman.edu. Thank you, and have a fantastic school year.